Hi, and welcome back. Or if you're new, here for my clickbait title, just welcome. I often see courses advertised as teaching you how to mix like a pro, with tips and tricks, techniques or templates, and the suggestion that this is all you need to start pumping out professional-sounding release-quality mixes. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to work. Now, that doesn't mean these courses can't be useful. No doubt many of them will explain complex concepts, demonstrate important techniques, and give you a solid grounding in the technical aspects of mixing. But that's not the difference between an amateur and a pro. It's entirely possible to have a long and successful mixing career without ever running a compressor in parallel or using a sidechain input. It's even possible to have a successful engineering career without ever learning how to use a compressor properly. I could name names, but that's not my style. But I don't think it's possible to have a successful engineering career without being able to use EQ confidently and effectively. And in order to do that, you need to train your ears. Pause for a public health warning while I explain why. There's a piece of bad EQ advice that circulates endlessly, and it's pernicious because it's so close to the correct approach, and yet so disastrously misleading. It goes like this. Dial in a sharp, narrow boost, sweep it around until you find a bad-sounding frequency, then cut instead. Rinse and repeat with another band. And I have to say, do not follow this advice. It will probably get you into a right old pickle. Any frequency sounds bad when you boost it hard enough, so what you will identify is not bad frequencies, just prominent frequencies, likely the important ones that give your part all its character. The correct way to do it is to listen first. You hear that there's a problem before you've applied any EQ. Then you search for it by sweeping a boost around, and you're not listening for general bad stuff. You're listening to that specific bad thing you already identified and searching for a frequency that makes it louder. And so ear training is essential, first of all, to allow you to recognize when there's a problem with the frequency balance that could be fixed with EQ, and second, to allow you to make an educated guess at which frequency is the problem so you can narrow down the range of your search. Ear training will help you to recognize a lumpy recording with an uneven frequency response so you can correct it effectively. It will help you to make better choices when creatively shaping the timbre of a part. But perhaps most importantly, it will help you to recognize congestion and clutter in a mix, help you to identify which parts are fighting one another and at which frequencies, and help you to fix those problems with EQ. And this is the single biggest difference between a pro and an amateur mix. So anyway, I'm making an ear training course. Did I forget to mention it? Sorry, it's the whole point of this video. I'm planning an extensive series in which I work my way through the entire spectrum and talk about each frequency's unique character and personality, what kind of parts that frequency is typically important to, and which you might be able to cut it out of, how a mix feels when there's too much of that frequency or too little. I'm going to talk about where to find the low fundamentals of your kick and snare parts, where to find muddiness or boxiness or honkiness or harshness. I'm going to tell you what the magic guitar frequency is. Yes, there is a magic guitar frequency, but you'll have to sign up to find out what it is. Of course, just watching my videos isn't going to turn your ears into those of a seasoned pro, and I won't pretend it will. But it will show you a method you can use which, if followed regularly, will get you to that level. I am aware of ear training tools and websites that can test your ability or gamify the ear training process. My videos aren't intended as an alternative to using those tools, or indeed to your own manual ear training exercises, rather to be a companion to them, kind of like a guided meditation. But it's a large and time-consuming job, so I'm afraid I need to charge some money for it. I elicited some feedback about that recently. I got lots of responses saying they'd be happy to pay, in some cases surprisingly high amounts, but no consensus as to which platform it should go on. Unfortunately, I have a low boredom threshold when it comes to the commercial side of things. On the subject of monetizing your audio skills, take your advice from anyone except me, because I'm rubbish. So after 10 minutes or so of exhaustive research, I decided I couldn't be arsed with it, and I'm just going to keep it on YouTube for now as members-only videos. This is also partly because, after checking my YouTube stats, I realise my memberships have been steadily growing without me noticing, and now account for about a third of my channel earnings. So I feel like I should offer those people a reward for their loyalty and support, rather than asking them to shell out more somewhere else. I figure I'll make the videos available at all membership tiers to begin with. Then, as the series becomes more complete, I might move it up to a higher tier. Or I might not, if the number of sign-ups exceeds my expectations. And then, once the series is complete, I'll look into hosting it somewhere it can be purchased for a one-time fee, rather than yet another monthly subscription. Does that sound fair to everyone? Anyway, the first introductory episode is now available for members. I'm calling it Just Train Your Ears, as that's what's really meant when people say, just use your ears. I'm not sure how quickly the rest of the videos will follow, partly due to those ongoing health issues I've mentioned before. Quick update, possible signs of improvement, but apparently it's still early days. I'm cautiously optimistic. But I can say that the more sign-ups I get, the quicker the project will be finished. And if it reaches the point where it's financially viable to do so, I will put other work on hold to finish it off. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And if you're considering signing up below, or have already done so, thanks for the support.